Welcome to On Fighting in Thailand, the best news and analysis covering the economics and infrastructure of Muay Thai. I'm Matt Lucas, journalist, commentator, and ex-Muay Thai fighter. Make stronger fighters, make stronger people. Today we will be talking to Teddy Mulvagh. I think I just murdered his last name, even though he specifically told me it before we did this show. So sorry about that, Teddy. But we will be talking to Teddy Mulvagh as part of our series on commentating. If you'd like to reach me, you can follow me on Instagram, MattLucasBKK, or email me at a.matt.lucas@gmail.com. Thanks to all the people that have supported me so far, sharing the podcast, leaving reviews. If you'd like to leave a review, that would be super helpful. You can do so on the iTunes store. Also, I want to personally thank a few people: Vinny Scotto, Patrick Rivera, Dave Brooks, Sean Madden, Wendell Galano, and Chris Tran for helping me out recently with camera equipment. I was able to do a new Behind the Fight with Andy Housen. That's on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. It's a 3-minute documentary on Andy Housen, who's a very credentialed fighter out of the UK. Fights out of the same gym as Liam Harrison, Bad Company, and Leeds. Housen has been in a lot of wars in the past. He's fought Damien Traynor. He's fought Boom Watana. He's just had a very storied career. He's signed up to fight at One Championship against the upcoming Josh Tona from Australia, so that should be a really good scrap. Also, I'm very, very excited to announce the release of my recent book. I've mentioned it before. It's called On Fighting in Thailand, A Guide to the Sport in the Motherland. So after years of hard work, studying, and being in the game, I've decided to publish this Muay Thai encyclopedia. It's a clear guide. It goes over scoring, matchmaking, picking a picking a gym, fight styles, gambling, the culture, and much more. It also has a series of interviews with long-term expat fighters like Michael Savas, Willie Whipple, Lisa Brealey, Angela Chang, and others. The book is meant to educate and help guide people in their careers by helping fighters from making costly mistakes. And it's written from a lot of personal experience as well. Just being out here for over 4 years, fighting out here, managing people out here, cornering people, commentating, working in gyms, working in social media. I feel like I've gotten a lot of different looks at the game, and I wanted to really give something qualitative back to the sport. So the official release is February 1st. You can find it on Amazon. Just type in On Fighting in Thailand, or you can easily find it through my website, matt-lucas.com. So matt-lucas.com. It's pinned at the top. You can get shipped right to your door as a print copy or as an ebook. Thanks, as always, to my sponsors as well, Nak Muay Legends, for their continued support of the show. They create some great Muay Thai apparel with portions of the proceeds going back to the legends they celebrate. All the superstars have been paid for their images as well. You can check out their gear at www.nakmoylegends.com. You can use On Fighting to get 15% off your order, and they are coming up with a Saint Tianoi shirt. I helped sign him in December. We're going through the process of doing the design for it. It should be out shortly. It will be a great shirt. I'm very excited about it. Also, along with my last book, or my recent book, I also have the previous book, The Boxer's Soliloquy. It's a series of interconnected Muay Thai stories. It's fiction, so definitely different from this most recent Fighting in Thailand book, which is non-fiction. So if you like one, you'll probably like the other. Also, thanks as always to Patrick Rivera for helping me get this show going. I am attending the Muay Thai Business Summit in Stockton. It's going to be in late February. I highly encourage people to attend. I am doing a talk on publicity. I'm very excited. It's a 3-day seminar, including a malapet workshop, clinch workshop. Then we do a day of workshops and conferences, and then a hot seat where you get to go over the problems plaguing your specific business in Muay Thai. It's going to be a lot of really knowledgeable people in it, including Brian Dobler and others. Also coming up is the WBC Muay Thai convention. That is in mid-March. That's going to be outstanding. I recently did an interview with Kun Lun, who is the general secretary of the WBC Muay Thai. That interview will be coming out next week. We run over the interview. Also, he's going to put on some amazing fights at Lumpini on the last day. It goes from the March 14th to 16th. It's in Bangkok, Thailand. It includes a Muay Thai referee and judging seminar and some amazing fights. Yusuf Bonaham is fighting Sogra Pet Indy. Sidichai Sitsong Pinong is returning to the stadiums to take on the Brazilian Luis Cajaba, who's very, very accomplished. He has a Thailand national belt. He beat Chad Collins for a WBC belt. Just tons of talent on the card. There's 6 belts in total, including 1 boxing fight, so it's going to be great. But now for a little bit about Teddy Mulvagh, who is our guest today. He first came out to Thailand over 14 years ago. He left his 9-to-5 job doing insurance and brokers annuity, and he moved out here to Thailand, Bangkok specifically. He was playing basketball regularly. He's a very, very tall fellow, and he kept getting punked. That's what he said. So he wanted to do some stand-up and learn how to defend himself, so he started doing Muay Thai. That basically led him into meeting Andrew Jones, who got him connected with the Ambassador Fight Night, where he started to do his first commentating. He worked there for about a year, and then he started working for Kun Lun. He got that through meeting Sasan, and he worked with Kevin Noon for Kun Lun for a while. Then he moved on to Channel 7, where he was there for a year and a half. Now he is working for the very popular UFC Fight Pass Absolute Muay Thai show, which has shows at the major stadiums, Rajadamnern, Lumpini, and Blue Arena in Bangkok. Him and his co-host Jason Strout recently covered an excellent pet indie show. What was it? It was on I'm getting my days mixed up. It was on Monday. It was an excellent show with Prowrow, pet indie fighting. Also Dieselek, pet indie fought. Lanyomo Warwatana was on the card as well. It was a great show. Lots of lightweight action. So Teddy is definitely an experienced hand in the game. So without further ado, the interview with Teddy Mulvagh. Thank you so much, Teddy Mulvagh, for coming on the show today. How are you doing?
Doing well, man. Good to be here. Thanks.
Good. So describe a day in the life of working a show out here in Thailand. You work for Absolute Muay Thai, which has 3 venues, Blue Arena, Rajadamnern, and Lumpini. It's shown on UFC Fight Pass.
Yes.
So give me a rundown of what working a show is like.
So I'll get there maybe like an hour early, and We usually I'll get there and then we'll just start roasting each other. Like usually once we get in there, we just start making fun of each other immediately. Me and the guys there. And then from then we'll do an intro. We'll look over the guys. We'll see what we're going to talk about in the intro and all that stuff. Try and look over the fights and stuff. Just do a little bit of a prep meeting. Mostly not. I don't need to be there. It's all like lighting and mics and stuff. And after that we we just hang out. We have some food. Maybe drink a beer. And then we cut our intro, just like Welcome to Absolute Muay Thai 59, Teddy Mulvagh and Jason Strout, and then we'll talk about the main event, that's it. And then 30 minutes later, we just hit the show, do a little mic check, and then go live, that's it. Not much prep. I'm never that good with that much prep. Anytime I have to do a script or I'm too prepped out, it just feels so forced. Yeah. So I tend not to do that, and I just go on the fly, that's it.
And normally you work with Jason Strout,
yes.
Correct? So Jason is a long-term fighter trainer from New York City. He's out here sort of on contract for these shows. Yep. What is it like working with Jason?
Horrible. It's absolutely horrible. He's
Is it because of his long hair?
It's all
his
of it.
Beard,
it's all of it.
or
He's so frustrating to work with. He's so inappropriate in the group chat. Makes fun of me all the time. Anytime I try and give him like a lob, like just
you're a tall target. So.
Exactly. But I'll set him up with a lob and he'll just not dunk it. Like I'll just be like, really, you know what you were going to say, and he purposely won't say it. So yeah, hate it.
I hate it. Yep. Terrible.
Just kidding. He's awesome. He's awesome. But it is frustrating to work with him sometimes. But he's awesome.
Yeah. You've obviously worked with a handful of different people during your career span. You've done the Ambassador. You've done Kun Lun. You've done Channel 7. What is it like working with different people?
Damn, that's a tough one. I guess like it's just you just got to get a flow for them. You know what I mean? As long as you get into a flow, I guess that's not really like saying anything. Like somebody trying to get into the game or something, would be like, what does he mean by a flow? But you just got to get into a conversation. No, everyone knows, because you're in a conversation somewhere and you meet somebody and it's a great conversation, and then you meet someone and you're like, oh my God, this is pulling teeth right now. This is so bad. So you just gotta kind of flow with the person. So working with different people, it's whether you got to jump in or not. Like John Nutt, you let him go. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then you just ride the wave. And then Jason, no, I got to do it, and then kind of go to him for any info. Actually, he does jump in with a lot of info now. We're getting a lot more comfortable and stuff. Yeah. But before, it's kind of like that. Aaron is like such a 50-50. That dude might be the best in the game, pound for pound. Aaron's on pound, tell you the truth. So that one is just like a smooth ride. So sometimes you step back, sometimes you don't. Sometimes, you know what I mean? You just got to figure out the person. I think that's the initial meeting. Well, once you know someone, but you gotta talk to the guy. Like before I worked with Jason, I called him up like 2 or 3 times just to talk to him.
Just to sort of chit chat, get to know him a bit. Also sort of get some of the little basic formula down for it.
I do that with Andrew Whitelaw too. At the end of this month, I'll go back to Burma and do Letway again. And so before I did with Whitelaw, I gave him a call. We did like a Skype thing and stuff just to kind of see when some people. They do like another beat. Like I know when Jason's going to stop talking. You got to know John Nutt will come with something different. You know what I mean? John Nutt will say something and then say something again. And you know what I mean? And that if you stumble over that gem, you're gonna lose the jewel, because that's his jewel sometimes. So sometimes you think he's done. So you got to give John that one more beat, so he just crushes it. Something like that. Where Aaron's more of like a steady. Like when he's done talking, that kind of stuff.
So when you're commentating a show, specifically at the stadiums, what are you looking for, and what's sort of your point of view when you're commentating?
Okay, first off, I just looked at the fighters, right? That's all you do. You just look at the fighters and you're just like, oh my God, how do I have this job? How am I not fired yet? Like, what is going on? This is amazing. Then I started looking at like positioning, like where they were standing, how they were standing. Now I'm looking at corners, referees. I'm looking at the grandma. I'm looking at the bettors. I'm looking at everything. I'm constantly moving around. Constantly looking at the time to see what time it is, constantly looking at their eyes. Are they looking down? Are they looking up? How many times do they look at their cornerman? Everything. It's crazy. But all that just came with time. Yeah. It's weird. It's just like your brain just
sort of starts
changes.
to process the information a lot faster.
Yeah.
So when you see a fighter glance quickly up at the clock, you can tell they're tired. They want out. They're looking at the corner. They don't know what's going on in the fight. They need direction. They're feeling a little lost. Some of those sort of things. And sometimes you look at the cornerman and he's like super excited, or they're feeling sort of crestfallen because their guy is getting beat up, or whatever.
Are they giving him actual information, or are they just hyping him up, like screaming at him, like, why are you here? Where's your heart? That kind of thing. Or are they like, step to the left, he's constantly coming with this, or things like that. You see that, and you're like, damn, what's going on there? So stuff like that, it just happens. I used to always have to look at the names, and then one day my brain just stopped. Now I just look at the name and now I just know them. Like, I don't know, I used to always look down at the paper, and then one day I just felt like my brain was just like, oh, we need to remember this, and it just turned on one day, and now I just
Do you ever have I know sometimes what I will do when I commentate is I will call the person by their name, but also I will refer to them as blue and red corner as well.
Sometimes I do.
Sometimes if like I forget, or the person has a particularly difficult name, I'm not the best at pronunciation, so
yeah, I'll do that. I'll try and switch it up too, like call them like the Bangkok native or the Isan native, like just kind of stuff like that, just to switch it up because it gets so boring. I'm pretty good at their names. I probably butcher the sound and the pronunciation of it, but it's good enough for the Western.
Yeah,
like
Westerners can't tell. Yeah, Westerners can't tell.
Jason's horrible at it. He literally pronounces the H's, like he says, like Thailand. You're like, are you serious? Are you serious? It's not Phuket. Stop. So some people read that.
So right now you are working for Absolute Muay Thai, which has the 3 locations: Blue Arena, Lumpini, and Raja Demnan. Can you talk a little bit about what each of those shows is like? I'm pretty familiar with Raja and Lumpini, but I've actually never been to Blue Arena.
Dude, it's like we stopped doing it for a little while for like other reasons, different reasons behind the scenes and stuff. I think we're going to get back on it. So we stopped that for a while, but that was becoming my favorite. So it's basically small. It's small as shit. It's so small. And it's like a high school, and there's like the stadium's like 3 steps up, 3 or 4 steps up. And it is all betters. And I've said this on the microphone before, it's like 90% betters, 5% family, and 5% workers. That's really it. And the atmosphere is awesome, and it's insane. And I think that the fighters want to get out of there, so they want to show out, rather than some fighters that want to keep their spot in some fights, where they can take it, they can win and run away, or they can take time off, or they can just point their way to a win. They don't really necessarily have to show out and show up. I feel like these guys are like, I'm going to knock this guy out so everyone talks about me, and I'll be in Lumpini making big money. So it kind of gets really exciting in that way.
So
that's like, it's small, it's intimate. Sorry, I'm going off key. It's small, it's intimate, and it's not like dirty or grungy, but it has that feeling of like a top high school or like a low level, like if you ever go to like a D2 basketball game where they're just dunking and crushing it, and you're like, oh my god, this is so exciting, this is D2. It's like that. It's so exciting, it's so cool, and it's so small, and the crowd's right there.
So Blue Arena sort of serves as a stepping stone for a lot of the other main
I think it does.
stadiums.
I think it does. Yeah, sure. I don't think they're gonna have a belt there, you know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be you gotta win there and then move up.
I mean, I've seen when I was working at FA Group, there were guys there that would fight for decent money, like 30,000-40,000 baht at Blue Arena, and the next move would be, the main stadium somewhere.
Yeah, and they don't take the rounds off either. Not many people were taking off round 1 and 2. They were going right at it. They were going right at it early.
How would you compare that with Channel 7? You worked there for a year and a half.
Yeah. So compare that to Channel 7, the same feel as far as you're like packed in, and there's not that much room because Lumpini and it's so open. It's like a stadium, like a real stadium. And Raja is dope because they have like that the step seating. I really like that. There's that open like step seating, like outdoor seating. So I think Channel 7 has the same feel. So I would say Raj, it's good that you asked. I would say Blue Arena would be a mini Channel 7. Because Channel 7's exciting as shit too.
Yeah, it's good.
It's like a powerhouse.
Yeah, I think it's like the cramped the crampedness, everything feels more intense, and it concentrates everything
and
a lot.
you want that feel. I feel like the way we grew up with those movies, like Van Damme and all these movies, like we want to go. Like when I first went to, I think it was Lumpini. No, it's definitely Lumpini. It was definitely Lumpini before they shut it down and built the other one. Rain was coming through the roof.
Yeah.
Literally, rain was coming through the roof. And I was so tall, I was like hitting my head on stuff. I was there with my brother, and I was like, dude, this is the kumite. This is insane. And I think you want that. I don't think most people want. I think the fighters will probably want it to look like the Great Western Forum or to look like the Staples Center. So if they, you know what I mean. But I think, especially foreigners who come in, we want that. Like, look at this, like almost look at the betters are right over you throwing papers and stuff. You're like, God damn, someone's gonna die.
It definitely makes it much more intense and, like I said, concentrated.
But there's something about Raja though that tops everything in my opinion. There's something about Raja that tops everything.
When Raja is filled,
holy shit,
it's like
dude.
the roar of the stadium is so crazy.
And the look of the stadium, just the way it's laid out.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I love it, dude.
The last birthday show on last December, they had like a pretty good turnout. I think it was 6.2 or 3 million baht. I interviewed the guy, the promoter, Chef Buntam, who was a promoter for the show, and the numbers did very well. And it's just packed.
Yeah.
And like, so you hear this constant roar of like, it sounds almost like a waterfall.
Yeah. And now they start banging. Now they start banging on the Coca-Cola signs. Now
people,
they lean over and start banging on it, and that gives you just thunder.
Yeah.
There's something about it.
It's really, really cool.
It's my favorite.
So, because you work at Blue Arena and sort of, or Blue Arena, and you mentioned the gamblers, how does that impact the game? Because usually the first 2 rounds in a lot of sort of shows that are more gambling based, the fighters take time off.
Yeah, sure.
So how do you think that impacts the show quality and sort of entertainment of it?
It depends on whether you're balls deep in it or not. I think if you're coming for if you're just a person coming to see the show to tick a box that you saw it in Thailand, you're going to want them to go crazy right from the start. But I think if you really know Muay Thai, I'm starting to really like that takeoff, because I really don't think they're taking it off that much.
Yeah.
I really don't. I think they're building their game plans. I think they're doing a lot. I think you can see feints and fakes that they do that will come back in round 3 when they throw something softly to see how he reacts, and then they throw it with full power later. You're like, God damn, he set that up in round 1 easy when everyone said he was taking it off. So it depends on what you're looking for. You know, like I think some people who watch American football are going to want to see a 40 to 30 point game, and I think some people don't mind a 10 to 7. You know, defensive, grind it out. God damn, this type of a game. So it's who you are. How you feel?
Yeah, I always, or more and more, I'm sort of likening it to a game like chess or Go or even backgammon, where there's like...
You're such a nerd.
Yeah.
You're such a dork. Go.
Where there's a beginning, mid, and end game.
Yep.
You know, so
sure.
In chess, you have your opening positions. Then most of what happens is your mid game, you're taking pieces off the table. Then there's, the end game of some sort. Same thing with Go. You're sort of structuring the board, and then you have these little battles, and then, basically it's done, and you just fill out the board. And I think it's the same thing with Muay Thai. You have these opening 2 rounds where it might seem slow, but they're positioning themselves. Everything, like you said, like they're setting things up. Yeah. And it looks initially like there's not a lot going on, but there's a lot of information that is being passed between the 2 fighters.
Yeah, you just have to know. You know what I mean?
You just have to know.
Like,
you have to know the game.
Yeah, if I watch a certain sport, I don't know, there'll be a lot of sports where I'd be like, I don't know what's going on here. I don't see what's going on because I don't see the way the plays are going out. I don't watch rugby. I don't watch cricket or something.
Yeah.
So it's just like I don't get it. But when you start to get it, you're like, damn, it's a chess match with dire consequences. Yeah. That's what I always say on the mic about Muay Thai. Real quick though, do you always do these naked, or is it just this one?
Oh, just this one.
Just this this one? Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
No, I'm comfortable with it. I'm fine with it. It's
That's
fine. I
good.
just wasn't sure if it was everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Well, I really like the way my naked buttocks feels on your nice, soft sort of. Is this
great.
genuine leather?
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah.
Oh,
and for anyone listening, the age answer question is yes. The tattoos on his arm are also on his penis, which should have known. I should have known. Okay, keep going now. That's one. Just wanted to clear the air.
Yeah. Thank you. Gotta take a breath a minute.
through your curveball.
No, I gotta like breathe down the boner because
dude, breathe up the boner. Dude.
breathe
Come
down
on,
the
dude.
bone. So, what is working at Raja Demnaran and Lumpini like? How would you describe those atmospheres?
I don't want to be like too corny about it, but I have to be. It's such an honor when I walk in, and that doesn't even though I'm all like kind of like flipping about it or like whatever about it. About the job and stuff, trying to make it not a big deal. I do feel that in there. And then like when they recognize me and like when they know me and when the vendors outside, you know, are chatting with you and stuff, and you're just like, God damn, this is a piece of history. This is like no joke. You know what I mean? This is the real deal. This is Madison Square Garden. So right away, there's a different feel just when I drive up. I'm just like, every time I'm like, holy shit.
I made it.
Yeah, kind of. I'm like,
made it.
holy shit, it's the
Yeah.
MGM Grand. You know, there's no better place to be, no bigger venue. So that first is awesome. And then as far as it's the greatest fights, there's just the best fights. So that's hands down. But we sit ringside. This is just personal now, commentating wise. We sit ringside at Lumpini, but we sit up on the second tier in Raja.
That's not a bad view though.
Dude, it's
like
awesome.
I actually, I think ringside, the sort of seats at level are not as good as the tiered seats.
Sure. I miss stuff.
Like,
I miss stuff a lot. I'll say it on the mic. I'm like, did that land? Because I'm not looking at the camera, at the monitor. A lot of times I'm looking at the fight. And I miss stuff all the time. We're up top, not really.
Yeah, but that happens, I think, in general, when you're commentating. It's hard to see everything from every angle. Like, the referee will get in the way, or, something will happen, and you just miss stuff. Yeah.
But up there is better. And also, I can stand up there. So on a longer show, you can just stand up. Yeah. And then you can, like, since it's Raja and there's like those big, it's like not a bench, but it's like those like concrete stadium seats. So I can even like put my feet up. I can lean back. I got drinks everywhere. You know what I mean? I got like a coffee or water. It's like an office. So it's so much more chill. Like I'm so much more comfortable because when you're ringside, like I almost threw my pen in the ring. I'm still like sweaty even thinking about it. I got so excited I threw my hand up and I felt my pen leave my hand and I grabbed it like in the air and my stomach dropped and I started sweating. What if I threw my pen in the ring? They might have fired everyone. They might have just got AMT out of there. I don't know what they would have done. What an idiot. So it's just like you have to be on your best behavior. Also the blood splatter. I got that on my clothes a lot where you're like, great. The time they make me wear a suit.
You
put the paper. Oh yeah, you saw that in the Jason's post and you were like the classic because you do that to the paper.
So for people that don't understand the reference, a lot of times when you're working ringside, the fighters will get cut and they start bleeding, and sometimes they bleed a lot, like a lot, and the blood will splatter outside of the ring
all over.
And so you use your paperwork, like your information, as umbrellas.
Yeah, exactly. And you got to cover your drink.
Yeah.
If you have an open like a red Pixie cup, the blood's going in your drink. It's done. No, you gotta cover your drink.
Everything has like a bottle cap.
It should be covered anyways because all electronics. But anyways,
But I've definitely been bled on. Seeing. I don't. I think it's just part of the game.
I swore on a Kun Lun card. We can swear on this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I swore on a Kun Lun card. I think I swore already. We swore on a Kun Lun card because it was something happened, and it was the we're never in the corner, so I don't know why the trainer would have been with the fighter in a neutral corner, but the trainer was there, and this trainer they were like from like Russia or something like Eastern European. He loved to put water in his mouth and spit the water on the fighter. The fighter's face. So he did that in the corner and got it all over me. Yeah. And I stood up and was like, "What the fuck, dude? Like, right in the middle of the fight. Like, I don't care, man. I got fired from that job anyways. And I know both of those guys would have demolished me. But just as a man, you're not going to let another man spit on you and be like, okay. So I stood up and was like, what the fuck, dude? He looked at me. I go, yeah, man. Like, what are you doing, dude? You're an idiot. You spit all over everyone. Get your shit together. Right there. Yeah. Luckily, they're Chinese. They didn't know what I was saying. But I was angry. I was angry. Because the blood stuff, there's nothing they could do. He didn't have to spray spit on me. What are you, Triple H? Like, Jesus Christ, dude. Anyways. You see how I'm angry.
Yeah, you're getting very hyped up about.
So it was cool, but Braja is cool because we're up on the tier, and then I guess anyone would realize the way it is ringside. It's pretty dope as well, though. You know, feel for it and all that stuff.
Raja is definitely cool.
Yeah.
Lumpini is good too.
Yeah,
it's
sure.
definitely. So how would you compare that with like Kun Lun, because it's Kun Lun, you were doing kickboxing, right?
Yeah, well, it's the same, no elbows.
Yeah.
You know? A lot of Thai fighters and stuff.
Yeah, I mean...
No clinch.
No clinching. Yeah. We saw... or there's a lot of good Thai fighters on the Kun Lun and China scene, like Pet Danong, who we were talking about off air, and Superbon as well. But what was that experience like, working those shows?
So... Those shows, there was no information, and this was great for me. So my first job, the guy left. He went back. My co-host went back to Canada, so I did it by myself. Mm-hmm. So I was all by myself, which was
the
dope.
Show at the Ambassador.
At the Ambassador. Mm-hmm. So that was dope because I had to carry the whole show. Mm-hmm. Which was really good because when you're able to do 100% of the job, and all of a sudden they're like, here's someone who's going to do 30% for you. Because normally I have to intro everything, and then they're just kind of like the technique guy. So I'm still going to do 60% of it. But you're like, damn, that's so easy now. Mm-hmm. So I had to do the brunt of everything. Then I go to Kun Lun, and they give you no information. They don't help you at all. No one can speak English at all. We don't know when to go. We don't know if they're at commercial. We don't know. Oh, wow. So there's dancers now coming out doing ninja shit? The fuck is it? Like, what is this? I did a 7.5 hour show.
Oh, really?
21 fights, 2 dancing shits, and no knockouts. Okay? I had a rash down my leg. Honestly, I had a rash down my leg just from my jeans, from sweating my balls off. So they give you no information. Nobody's in your ear. Sometimes they give us the sheets with like, oh, here's all your information. And you're like, I told you I can't read Chinese. Mm-hmm. Told you I can't. So I gotta like translate it and do like weird shit and the internet and then China. Oh, the worst. So then you go to Channel 7, and then Kevin's the best. He just handles everything and knows everything. That's fine. Then you go to AMT, and there's a producer. There's a pre-meeting. There's a post-meeting. There's a guy in your ear. There's a line producer next to you. If you need anything, you're texting the producer right there. So it's like, once you do that, you're just like I went to boot camp before that. I don't know how it would have been if that was my first gig. Like, I went to boot camp. I was in the show, a dirty ass show, nobody's helping you, and then you're doing a great show where nobody's helping you, and you're like, I don't know what's going on here. Yeah. You know, so like that kind of really helped me. So working at AMT now, it's so professional. It's a New York company. They do fights in New York. They do a
Friday night fights,
which
is the longest running Muay Thai show in, I think, North America.
It's awesome.
It's monthly.
Yep.
They've been doing it forever.
It's so dope. When they started doing that, I was like, thank God. Because it was just like, we're just going to make your job easier. It's like, oh, perfect.
Yeah.
You know, so that kind of stuff. But I'm happy that I did it because it just got me better. You know, just kind of like run with it. Just go with it. Just run with it. Just figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, obviously all these different experiences have led you to where you are in your career now. You know, you've done the Ambassador Fight Nights, which is low level, and then that led you to Kun Lun, and then Channel 7, UFC Fight Pass. Obviously we're in Asia, and so it's hard for me at least to tell the sort of influence of UFC Fight Pass. What do you think, how big is UFC Fight Pass like impacting, how big is the show impacting the United States?
Okay, so UFC Fight Pass, for anyone who doesn't know, is the Netflix of fighting. It's not just the UFC. They're putting everything on there. But as far as the logistics of it, I'm not privy to any of that information, nor do I even want to. It's not even like I'm like, I can't say it. They don't even tell me. They're like, beat it, nerd. What are you talking about? What are you doing here? But all I know is I constantly promote myself. Teddy Mulvagh on Instagram. I just nonstop say it. And people contact me. Guys in Virginia, ladies in LA, people in New York.
Ladies in LA?
Yeah, man.
Ooh.
And they're constantly contacting me. They're in their living room. They're showing it. I'm giving them shout outs. And then they'll show the shout out and put it on their story and be like, oh, what's up? People are constantly like, that was hilarious what you said. So all I know is, I don't know how many people, maybe those 8 people that contact me are the only people that watch it. I hope not. But for them to do that knows that it's working. Yeah. So I do get contact people all around the world that say, not all the time, but I do get direct messages. I ask them for it, and then I give them a shout out on the next show. And then, so I know that people are watching it. I know that people are enjoying it. And I had one guy that blasted me. Long paragraph. Okay, you're an adult. What are you doing? We're both grown men. Weird, but okay. Long paragraph. How annoying I was. Stop saying. I mean, I understand that. All right, dude.
Wait. And then, what was his handle?
No, shut up! You're gonna be his best friend now, you fucking jerk. Did I say it? Yeah, Brance Johnson. Brance Johnson. So he gave me a shut up. Shut up. So he gave me a long email about how bad I was, and I'm like, whoa, all right, dude. Sorry. I wasn't gonna fight him back. I'm like, sorry, dude. I'll do whatever I can to make it better. Maybe I'll be quieter. I won't yell as much. That's it. Yeah. Cool. And he's like, yeah, eat a dick. Then 3 days later, he goes, dude, I just watched everything you've ever done. He goes, I love it. I'm so sorry. Keep doing it. It took me a while to get onto it. When you're not there and someone else is there, I couldn't even watch it. It was horrible in the beginning before they got you and all this stuff. And I'm like, Jesus. Awesome, dude.
That's cool.
It's really cool, man. I was like, well, thanks, dude. Yeah. One guy on Twitter said, I'm better on mute. You don't have to laugh at that because it hurts. Yeah, one guy. Yeah, a lot of bad stuff.
Do you know, what is it, my favorite word? Schadenfreude? Laughing. No. German word for laughing at someone else's pain.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah, you love that. I know you love that. So I've gotten a lot of hate.
So tell me more about some of these.
So I've gotten a lot of those, but mostly love. And with the hate, I always just say, I always just say I'm sorry. I never fight him back. I always just say I'm sorry. I'll do better next time. Or if you have anything like that, then it's all good.
I think people don't realize what it takes to be sitting behind the mic and to be there.
Well, I'm doing it every week though. Yeah. It's not like these shows like a Kun Lun where it's every 2 months. Yeah. I'm going 6 times a week for 4 hours. Yeah. Oh, sorry if I messed up one time. Yeah. Oh, sorry if I repeat a word. Yeah. Sorry if I want to be memorable. Bro, I'm doing this nonstop. It's difficult. And one cool thing about Kun Lun is we brought a few people in when we were doing the backlogs where it was these are old fights that we want to just throw on to the app. So there were some people that we were like, oh, you think you can do this? Come on in. We wouldn't give them the live show. We'd give them the backlog. Yeah. And they shut up immediately. Yeah, they thought they were so cool. It's kind of like when you're yelling at the game show. Yeah, get on The Price is Right and try and answer that question. Yeah, it's easy when you're sitting in your living room with your Cheeto fingers, you're screaming at the right? It's a lot more pressure when the lights are on. Yeah, it's a lot more pressure. And for any other commentator that has to deal with that, one thing that I fight with the producers of everything I've ever done is being honest about a mess up. For some reason, they don't want you to say a mess up. If someone messes up or if someone got the red and the blue corners wrong, they're like, just keep going. And you're like, wait, what? So I like to Eminem myself. 8 Mile Eminem myself. So if I make a mess up and don't address it, then that's when that guy in his mom's basement is he said this wrong. Oh, great eye, buddy. You don't think I saw that? I fucking saw that. So now anytime I mess up or anytime my co-host messes up, I immediately laugh at him and bring it right to the forefront so then no one else can comment about it. Yeah. And I think that's the best thing to do.
Yeah, people mess up. It's not really that big of a deal. Sure. I work all the time with Rob Cox. He messes up. Yeah. I've been working at Max for 4 years. I mess up. Yeah, you mess up it's not a big deal.
I just address it so then the internet nerds can't really blast me. I don't know. We went on a tangent there. I don't know what the first question. I don't know what the first question was.
Yeah,
But you know what? I'm just gonna get naked too then. Yeah. Is that cool? Thanks. That's fine. Let's just do it together then. Okay.
Well, cool. You can get rid of your G-string. Okay. It's the leather G-string has been looking good.
It's all right.
I sort of like the studs.
Okay.
I don't know why you have so many studs on the back, but
we'll get into that in the next podcast.
Yeah. So you've obviously been working for about 4 years, commentating ringside.
Yep.
You've been here in Thailand for a long time. What do you think it's going to take for Muay Thai to go more international? And how do you think the sport is developing?
Well, I think what we said before, a little bit of what we said before the podcast, you got to get invested in the fighters if Americans are going to want to do it. You've got to put graphics up of like their gym and who else is at their gym. Like now I'm starting to say that where it's just like, this is a lightweight division. And then I'm like, here's the top 3 guys in the lightweight division. Keep saying their names. Keep saying like who's in the division, who's there, like stats and stuff. Because that's what runs the NFL, the NBA. We love those. We love knowing the guys. And I think a show. I think a studio show would do it too, like inside the NBA. Like have an actual studio show where people can watch it. You can't watch 7 hours of Muay Thai all week. We're going to work. But I know everything that happens in the NBA right now. I don't watch every NBA game. Do you know why I know? Because I watch 30-minute clips of a guy showing me the highlights. I don't have that here because it's all in Thai. So a highlight show, immediately, anyone steal my idea, please steal my idea, do a highlight show and make me easier at my job. I'm trying to do one. Nobody will back me for it. I don't know why. That, getting them invested. And maybe not really changing their names. Like, I don't know if it's going to be like Steve versus John, just for it's easier for the foreigners. I don't think so, but like, I think they can keep their names, but just let us know who they are and like, kind of like more tournaments too. Channel 7 did a really good thing with that Tiger Cement tournament where it's like their main guys, everybody knows their main guys. Their title fights, their famous guys, everyone knows their main guys. So what are we going to do with all these guys that nobody knows about? They throw them in a tournament. And then you start watching them week in and week out. And then from now on, I know there's 16 guys in the tournament, or 32, I guess, whatever. Out of those 16 guys in that one tournament that I saw, I'll recognize 6 of them.
Yeah.
If they walk around the street.
Yeah,
just because I saw him fight a bunch. Not only did I see him fight a bunch, I know that he won and then he lost. Oh shit. Now in order for him to get into the next bracket, he's got to win this one. Or he lost one, but he can come back.
Yeah.
That whole idea, what do I want to say?
It's a narrative.
That narrative. If
It's
you can
a
just
narrative.
paint the narrative, it'll blow up. There is no narrative.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's the only thing. That's the easiest thing.
Yeah, I know. I used to work the Saturday shows at Max Muay Thai, and there's a 4-man tournament, and there's always a narrative to the show, so it's super exciting. So you see, like, oh, the first fight, one guy like wins by a knockout in the semifinals. The other semifinals is dragged out. It goes into extension round. So you have a final with a super fresh guy versus a tired guy. What the fuck is gonna happen?
Yeah.
And it makes you more invested in it.
Totally.
I think one of the unfortunate problems right now is I think a lot of it has to do with the language barrier. Like people
Interviewing the fighters, you mean? Like having the fighters talk to the fans? What do you mean?
well, just you don't know people's stories as much.
Yeah.
Because like all the news is in Thai. So you can't find out like Lama Moon Lek's story about his last 3 fights and who he fought. You don't know where he's from.
Yeah.
So you can't really imagine him that well. You just know, oh, he's a Thai kid.
But even if you just knew, just because we say where he's from, but even if you just knew where he's from, his gym, and his last couple fights, but then you just got to have him come again. You got to remember him. He's got to fight again. That's why in a tournament, they're constantly fighting again. Otherwise, you're going to just miss him. Yeah. You got to know him. You know what I mean? You just got to know him and just be invested in it. And then that's it. And then more graphics. Because there's so much. Like, I remember the first time I watched like a Premier League. This was a long time ago. I first got to Thailand. It was like Premier League. Like, this is the biggest sport in the world. And there was like 2 guys on chairs that were just like, oh yeah, and then the game went on, okay. Like, oh my God, in America they're screaming at each other. There's a time clock to say when they're going to stop talking about this. There's things going down across the screen. It's like going to give you an epileptic seizure just by watching the sports. It's like if you could do something like that, Americans would love it. That kind of stuff, who they are, who they fought, stats on the screen, how many knockouts he's had as we're talking to the guy, how many, like, anything you can put on there.
So like a ticker basically running relaying constant information about the fighters
Something
and
like
the
that.
fights.
Anything, just anything that we can take and eat, anything that we can take home that we can know about. Because everyone loves being the smartest guy in the bar. You know what I mean? Everyone loves like knowing that guy. So if you just know who he is, or even give the information at the beginning of the fight, just so even in the middle of the fight, you can be like, damn, this guy won 3 in a row, or damn, this guy got knocked out. Maybe that's why he's taking a step back. He got knocked out, or he lost his 3 fights. Of course, he's not going to go out there, put himself out there. Just something. I feel like there's absolutely nothing.
What sort of information do you get when you're commentating for Absolute?
So we get obviously we get names, weights, heights, and then I get the betting sheet from Raja, and I can tell. I know the word for win and loss.
Yeah.
And then there's a Thai woman who speaks pretty good English. She does something.
Is she the ringside and
no.
not?
She just works behind the scenes. She's like a audio visual girl, I guess, whatever, woman. So I'll ask her like who fought who. So I do know that information. I do know the last few fights. And Jason now has a Bible. So Jason now I call it the Bible. Jason now records everything. So when a guy's fighting, he'll look back through his book, and he has all the Absolute Muay Thais that he's done. So that's cool. So Jason,
that's smart.
He'll put in the time where he'll come in and be like, that guy fought on Absolute Muay Thai 34. But if we could now get the producer or whatever to cut that, a 1 minute cut of him and show that while he's doing his Ram Muay, show a highlight of him in the last one, either win or loss, that would be dope. That's the way to tell the story.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. We also do I don't know if you watch Absolute Muay Thai, but we do what kicks, judging, what do judges look at. We do all that. Yeah, because it's 2-minute breaks.
Yeah, that's really, I think that's really helpful.
I think people are going to start copying that. I think a lot of shows are going to start copying that. Or they should start copying that. They should. Yeah. Those are dope.
Especially a 2-minute break is pretty long. And like we were talking about before, the first 2 rounds can seem a bit boring if you don't know what's going on.
Exactly.
So like you know, if you're able to fill that up with, information of some sort, talk over, okay, scoring stuff, blah, 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 okay, opening, you talk
we do the
about...
rules of Muay Thai.
What's that?
In the beginning, we do the rules of Muay Thai.
The rules
just
is
come up on a
always
graphic.
good.
Yep.
The other thing with the gambling sheets is a lot of times they'll highlight the favorites.
Yeah.
Which is always interesting.
I like that. We talk about that. Yeah, we talk about that.
Because, like, I think, the gambling is a big part of the stadiums. There's sort of like the entertainment side with the shows like Max and, like One Championship is an entertainment show.
Sure.
And then there's the traditional stadiums like Lumpini, Rajadamnern, and the gambling plays a big part in it. And I think that's its own separate game that impacts, the main game.
Well, I gave a shout out to our producer, Paul, just recently because I started noticing what he was doing. And if there was a clinch war in round 3, well, guess what video we're getting? Clinch video. You know what I mean? If I notice a bettor screaming, saying, I'm giving you 70,000 if you knock this dude out, and I mention that, well, guess what? He goes to the betting. So he's starting to tell the story and the continuity for the fight, and that's dope, too. I love that. AMT, Absolute Muay Thai, on UFC Fight Pass.
You love it. And, like, it does play an important role in understanding, like, the fighters can look, at the crowd really quick. I remember I interviewed Yusuf Bonham a long time ago, and he was like, when you fight, you have to listen to 3 different people. You need to listen to your corner. You need to listen to a referee. You need to listen to the gamblers. So the corner gives you advice about what you should do, like, in the fight. The referee will tell you, like, okay, break, stuff like that. Yeah. A lot of times the referees will also give you fight instructions, too.
Yeah.
And then the gamblers will let you know where you are in the fight.
If you're winning or losing.
If you're winning or losing.
Sure.
And the thing about corners is they're going to be a bit more biased about where you are in the fight, whereas the gamblers will always will 100% be like, you are winning, you are losing, you are losing. what the fuck are you fucking doing? Like,
he's gonna have to sell his truck if this guy loses. Some of those bettors are degenerate gamblers, man.
It's so cool. So and then just a few more questions. How do you feel when you commentate? And has your feelings about it changed over time?
If I feel that I'm kind of bad at it, like when I used to play basketball, I was never like thinking, even though strategically things were going in my head, I was just reacting. You know what I mean? I love that. And that's where my best commentating comes from, that, when I'm just not doing anything. I'm just in the moment and you're just done, like, oh shit. When I'm kind of in my head or thinking about something or feeling something, I tend to, like, I don't know, stumble over my words or something, or like try and think of like jokes that just don't land rather than have them like organically come out. But I guess just excitement, if it's an exciting fight, boring if it's a boring fight, obviously, you know, things like that, normal emotions. And then just, again, I said before, so happy to be there. Has it changed? Yeah, I used to be super nervous. And now I'm just like, this show's probably going to go really good.
Yeah.
You know, now I'm like, I'm all right. I know what to say. I know how to start it up. I know what to say. I have my, like, linkers. Like, if I want to, like, say a new thing or whatever, I can do it. But if I have to go to an old script, I know what I'm going to say in the beginning and in the intro. I know what I'm going to do.
Do you have key lines?
Yeah.
What are some of your, like...
Are you not entertained?
Oh, are you not entertained?
No better place to be.
The
Mecca of Muay Thai. The belly of the beast, Bangkok, Thailand.
Oh, the belly of the beast, Bangkok, Thailand is a good one. Are you not entertained is from what?
Gladiator.
Gladiator? Oh, that's appropriate. Any other?
And
ones?
I call them that, these modern day gladiators in this modern day Coliseum. You know, that's all, like,
no, I mean,
a couple more. Yeah, I'll say
it's
those.
very true.
Yep, I'll say those little zingers.
Yeah.
And then not afraid taking a man's body.
Oh, that's a good one.
When anyone says, like, look at his back or his legs, I'm like, well, here at AMT, we're not afraid to take in a man's body and appreciate his body. So, yeah, I'll say that as well.
I want to, for those of you listening and not viewing, you're missing out. I'm really taking in a man's body.
Yeah, we're both naked.
Yeah. And so, how you've been involved in the industry for at least 4 years. You've been out here in Thailand for
14.
over 14 years.
Well, yeah.
How have you seen the sport evolved, and what direction do you see it going?
Early in the sport, I ought to admit, I don't know much about it. A lot of people get upset. Not a lot of people, but some people who think they should have my job get a little upset about how much I don't know. Like, they'll try and quiz me when they see me, and I can tell that they're, like, mad about it. Like, you don't even know who the champions are. I'm like, yeah, I don't, dude. I don't know, man. I don't fucking know. So I don't really know much about it, but, like, as I feel like how has it changed? I haven't been at the elite level for really that long. Like, it's changed in mine because I went from, you know, bullshit shows basically to the top shows. So that's changed as far as the fighting quality has changed. But I don't think I've been at the top long enough to really speak that way. But I do notice that some of the younger kids are starting earlier. They're not doing the round 1 and 2 takeoffs. No, some of the younger kids, under 20, they're starting to just fight from the beginning. I don't know. I've been noticing that, like, a little ethos change. I guess that would be the only thing. Anything else would just be speculation. I don't think I know enough for that question, to tell you the truth. Sorry. Yeah.
No, that's fine. Do you think those kids will sort of settle down and it's just like early excitement, or do you think that they're seeing a shift in the sort of landscape of the sport, so they're like getting started earlier?
Yeah, I was wondering that too. I was wondering if it's like they're just trying to make their name for themselves, but really, some of them are 19 years old. They already have a name for themselves. They've been fighting for 10 years at 19 years old. So I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if they're just like they don't want that old way. But then Jason says that back in like the 90s or something, that's what they did anyways. Yeah. He says so maybe they're just going. They're not. It's not a new thing. Maybe they're just going back to the 90s because maybe that's who they watched. Like maybe that's who they watched, right? Like when they were 8 years old, that's who they looked up to. So they're just trying to fight like that guy. Yeah. I don't know. And then maybe the next generation is looking at these fighters now, the kids who are 10 now, and then when they get up to that age, they're going to be like, well, this is how I practiced shadow boxing, was taking a time, like an easy teep kick, not to come out full balls. Yeah. So I actually don't know, but I hope that they do, because A lot of them, if they want to go worldwide, a lot of the world doesn't want them to take off.
Yeah, to
the first 2 rounds.
Do the slow opening rounds where it's hard to understand what's going on unless you know the game.
No, unless you're a champion or something, I don't think anyone's going to care. If you put in the work, I don't think anyone's going to care. You can do whatever you want. George St. Pierre does lay and pray, and everybody loves him. You know what I mean? It's fine. It's okay. He still gets millions of dollars, but he's the champ. He didn't lay his praise way there.
Or like Floyd Mayweather.
Exactly.
You know,
Sure.
like a lot of people are like, you're boring, Floyd. Yeah. But people that he's like a boxer's boxer.
Oh, yeah.
Because he knows the game really well and he plays the game. And, you know, for casual fans, just that level of playing the game is boring. It's not entertaining.
No, and I wish that they would do it at least in the beginning. You can't open a show with a Ram Moy for 5.5 minutes, 3 minutes of nothing, 2 minutes of nothing, 3 minutes of nothing, 2 minutes of nothing, and then we're gonna start a fight. Click. I'm done. I'm clicking it, man. So at least maybe in the beginning, if they're trying to get worldwide, obviously Roger could care less. They're making hand over foot money. You know what I mean? They're fine. Sponsors are fine. Channel 7's fine. So I don't really know if they care. But if they want to go worldwide, at least the beginning fight, just tell the guys, you've got to go out there. You've got to put Muay Thai on your back. And you've got to do this. You've got to just go out there and go to war. But the longevity won't be there. Right? Because if you're going to go balls to the walls for 5 rounds, you're going to be an idiot at 300 fights if you even make it to that fight. Yeah. So it's like, if they do take off the first 2 rounds, fight for a round and a half, and then you've seen it too, and I've seen it, they take off the 5th round.
Yeah.
For sure. So this guy had a 5-round fight. No, he fought for 4.5 minutes and took the win. Now, that's why he has...
4.5 rounds.
No, 4.5 minutes, basically, to take the win. That's all he did. I've seen that, where a guy fights for 3 minutes in the 3rd round, and then fights for 1.5 minutes in the 4th, takes the 4th, and takes off the whole 5th. You're like, God damn, you fought for 5 minutes. But it's like, that's how he has 300 fights. That's how he still hangs out with his kids. So I don't want any of that CTE shit going on, but like, God damn.
Yeah.
God, it sucks. And it sucks as a commentator to fill fucking 14 minutes before anything happened, especially when you don't have the storyline to talk about. Yeah. It's not even like you can talk about their past or anything. That's tough.
One of the interesting things that Timo Rouge did with Muay Thais is he had like the stadiums, a lot of the stadium shows filmed, and he would just cut the first 2 rounds unless it was super exciting or something happened. Because part of it was regulations about timing at like how much video tape you could have. But, you know, it's also like people were only watching these 2-round, 3-round fights at the stadiums. And so it would just be like 3, 4, and part of 5.
Yeah, perfect.
And then like, you know, you're looking at the action right away.
Sometimes we start late because... it's Thailand and it's America and it's a problem and we gotta hit 8 and things happen. There's a knockout, there's not a knockout. But the shows that we've had, it's been perfect because right at 8 o'clock at Raja, round 3 hits. Yeah. And we open a show with round 3.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
perfect.
At the end of that round, I now have so much filler because we can talk about what happened in round 1 and 2. Yeah. Even if nothing happened, that's a couple minutes so we can talk about it, what they're doing and everything. It's been the best shows have been when they're just that first fight starts at round 3. It's better for us. It's better for the crowd. Everyone's there. It's so dope.
So, just to sort of wrap things up, was there anything we didn't talk about that you would have wanted to talk about?
Yeah, you were a fighter.
I was a fighter.
You were a fighter.
Yeah.
Huge question I've always wanted to ask a fighter. When you're in the clinch, how do you handle your boner? Or do you just let it ride?
The same way I handle my boner when I'm talking with you.
Perfect. That's what I want to know. All right, cool. I think that's about it. No, what else I want to talk about? No, I guess that's it. Was there anything? No. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, well, thank you so much for coming on the show, Teddy. Make sure to tune in to Absolute Muay Thai. And what are good ways for people to learn more about you or see your stuff?
Teddy
online?
Mulvagh at Instagram, TEDDYMULVAGH Instagram. I got a Facebook, but that's only posted through Instagram now. I just do Facebook for like people falling over and like funny videos and stuff.
Okay.
And IG, that's it. Yeah, cool, man.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Yep.
So that wraps up our interview with Teddy. Thank you so much for listening. As always, you can follow me on Instagram, MattLucasBKK. Email me at a.mattlucas at gmail.com. Pick up my new book, I'm Fighting in Thailand, on Amazon.com. Thank you so much for listening. I think Teddy brought a lot to the table, including some raunchy jokes. But, you know, that's how life goes sometimes, and you gotta roll with the punches. So thank you so much. This has been I'm Fighting in Thailand, the best news and analysis covering the economics and infrastructure of Muay Thai. I'm Matt Lucas, journalist, commentator, and ex-Muay Thai fighter. Make stronger fighters, make stronger people.